Yeah. There we go. All right. Hey, guys. So we're live again. We're going to give away some summit tickets today, but I've got Michael Bernoff with me today, the founder of the Human Communications Institute. Do you have like is it the HCI?
Yep.
Or you got to say the whole thing?
You say it once and then it's like a legal document. Afterwards, it's HCI.
I love it. Michael's a leader in professional development, a leader in the personal and professional development industry. And you've impacted hundreds of people. We actually haven't met, but I've read your book and I've been really intrigued because I follow some of the same principles that you speak about in Average Sucks. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Thanks for joining us.
Thrilled to be here.
I want to tell you how this works a little bit. I know you've been on. We're going to be live. I'm going to mess with the comments as they come in. We hope that people will ask some questions and we can kind of impromptu with that. But let's start off a little bit. You are speaking at the summit and we're grateful for that. We're excited.
I'm excited about it as well because you and I were talking about it earlier. You got a great group of people coming. Our job is to send them home even better.
Yes. I think we could do that by like introing you. I think we said to Master of Puppets. So that's the energy. That's the energy Michael's bringing. Tell us about yourself. Tell the viewers here. We got a lot of people that are going to watch this. Who are you and what are you all about?
Could take that 50 different directions. I'll start with the
most important one, the most impactful.
I mean, here's the most impactful thing. I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. I struggled like most people when I first got started because I got some ridiculous advice from my parents, like work hard and be a good person. And just be a good person, yes, and work hard. And you still got to do those things. And the biggest transformation happened in my life when I realized that most people want to learn how to run their business and very few people want to learn how to run themselves and understand people. So my mentor shared with me at a very young age, if you can understand what makes people do what they do, you can help them do what they want to do. And if you understand how to get yourself to do what you want, you can get what you want. So I couldn't find it in a book anywhere, couldn't find it in a course anywhere. So spent 25 years preaching from the mountaintops of people of literally teaching human beings the psychology of what makes people take action, what makes people do things, how to use words to influence people, and more importantly, not just selling, how to literally become a person of influence in life.
I like that. You kind of explained there put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Yep. Talk about why that's so important.
Well, this is the part, like people are going to come to the event and they're going to come to the event looking for this idea and looking for this thing. And they're going to get that regardless. You're going to get that at every church, every temple, any synagogue, any weekend. You can go to Atlanta, leave the event, go to some church, and you're going to find that answer. What you're really looking for is to learn something about yourself. What makes you do what you do and how do you activate the part of you to do what you want? So like, why is it you make $100,000 a year? Why is your business does $1 million? It's great to know why, because you do what you do. But if you want to make 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, what is it? Turner's from town, Ted Turner's from Atlanta. What? Yeah. Wealthy dude. You want to be a billionaire. He does something different and he makes himself run differently. So that's why I feel that's part most people don't want to look at because we're so busy as entrepreneurs looking how to survive instead of really making a life that works for us.
So a great example of that. Hey, you guys, I want you to comment, grow. You know the routine. Me and Michael are going to give away a free ticket or two today.
Yeah, at least.
Let's talk about the ceiling. So I'm out golfing with my partners today. First time we went out, we had a meeting, we went golfing, right? And it'd been a decade since I had golfed. And my partners are a little bit more seasoned. But I knew that I was going to have this conversation with you today. And so I was prepping for it a little bit in my mind. And I like to find reason behind stuff. So I get out there, right? I think the first hole, I par, I feel good. I'm smiling. My partners are building me up. But that doesn't last long, right? Because that was luck. The second one, I start going downhill. And I started to realize I started rushing through stuff. And I'm like, how can I take something from Average Sucks and put it into my golf game and calm myself down a little bit and find my identity? Who am I today and what is my purpose for today? And then at the end of the day, am I okay with that style of play? What adjustments do I want to make? And quickly I found out I'm not that great at golf, et cetera, right? But I was focused and I calmed down and I started to come back around, but it's because I had intention. Talk to us about all these patterns that we have and how we sometimes don't have any intention and we don't know that we're working at our what we think is our ceiling, which actually is just like an average ceiling.
Yeah.
People don't know how to break through that, right? By just kind of slowing down, I feel like sometimes.
Yeah. The biggest reason I wrote average sucks is, and I wear the shirt all the time, is, and the type of people that stop you with these, and I'll make sure to bring some to the summit, because I will tell you, when you wear one of these, dude, people stop you, and you know who stops you? People with money, people that do big, and you know who doesn't like them? People you don't want to talk to. So I appreciate John, the message on there. So
dude, John's awesome.
John's awesome. So the reason I bring this up is most of the things we do in life, this is going to go deep psychology right now from the guy that failed psychology 101 3 times in college, but I charge more than any therapist in the country. But I'll say it like this. Most of what we do was a really good idea a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the patterns that we have in our life, we designed on a whim. Like, one of the things I like to describe, and I'll go into this as much as you want, I'll cover some of this at the summit, but for now, I'm going to give you like the 90-second version so everyone can walk out of here today with what I'd call like an overhead projector of like, remember overhead projectors, the clear thing? Like walk into life like this. So what happens in most of our lives is we go into life and we're like, I want to change something. You get pissed off, you get bothered, never going to work for anyone again, never going to eat shellfish again. You wake up over a toilet bowl, never going to have a 40 of something again. And we've all been there before, right? And we say never again. And the second we say to ourselves, never again, our mind builds a wall behind us. Like, I'm never going to go back to this, right? Never again. And we don't even think it through. Like, I just want to be happy. I don't want my wife to treat me bad. I don't want my kids to not like me. I want this and I don't want this. I want this and don't want this. You hit a bad ball in golf and go, shit, that was embarrassing, right? And I go, I never want that again. So you know what you do? You hit safe and you become a player that doesn't play well. And then in order to do that, we develop what's called an identity for ourselves. And most people's identity is a human being that wants something and doesn't want something else, doesn't want something else. And we wind up being a person like, wonder why I'm stuck at 150, 200 grand a year in sales. Well, at one point when you said, I just need to make more money and that's what I want, you set a program. So most of us are living an outdated identity. And the saddest thing is, to make this box complete, is we recruit people into our lives and we convince them to buy into our BS. So we remind people saying, you know how good I am, man. You see, I hit the ball. I'm so consistent.
Yeah.
Do you want to be consistent or do you want to be Tiger Woods?
Wow.
Do you want to be consistent or do you want to make $1 million a year? So most of us don't want to feel pain and we don't want discomfort, or we don't want whatever we don't want. And we build a whole life around it. So this is where most people are stuck. So for whatever reason, you played a good golf game, not the one you wanted to play today. Correct?
Correct.
Because what you want on the other side is on the other side of the wall. And I can get into that if you want.
Okay. So how do you label for those that are like, how do you label your average? How do you know? Like, okay, so people wake up sometimes, right? Let's say they're in the midst of growth.
Yep.
And they say, well, somebody told me yesterday, I don't have to be average anymore. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm going to start traversing. I'm going to start digging. I'm going to start clawing my way. That was a hey, I told you I get on fire every now and then.
Dude, that was a word. I'm like, I wrote it down. I'm going to look up what that means. It was so good.
You're the author and John Majak's the author. I just want to be around y'all, right? So I don't want to be average anymore. So I start trying to use bigger words.
You're great.
So people come out, right, and they start trying to dig themselves out of this average hole where they start to go, I'm not going to be mediocre anymore because I understand that who I am in my head is what I give.
Yep.
I immediately come out today to the course. I line up. I make all these excuses. I look back at my partners. My shoulders, this is going to be horrible. This is going to be pitiable. Stop, Grant. You'll be just fine. And I did. I swung just fine that first 3 hits. How do people get out of that hole? What's that what's that like? What's that self-talk look like? Because the attaboys don't work all the time.
No. We don't want to do the attaboys. Here's the deal. Let's get really real. If Tiger Woods is a 10 golfer, I don't even know who's great anymore. Mickelson, Tiger Woods, who knows even who's great anymore. Let's just put him over here. Tiger back in the day, us growing up, right?
Okay.
And a guy that's never played in their life is, let's say, a 0, correct?
Yep.
My question for you is, you may be a better golfer than a guy that doesn't play, but on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you really?
Wow. Okay.
Like, let me give you a better example. How long you been doing sales?
I've been probably in like real sales, probably a decade.
Okay. So I ask most people, how are you at sales? Oh man, I'm a 10, I'm a freaking 8, I'm great. I said, okay. Compared to Bobby Axelrod and Billions, how good are you really?
Yeah.
And if you've seen the show now, so then we switch the scale. So you may be a 9 or 10 in the gutter world, service world, better than most, correct?
Yep.
Now let's compare to Bobby Axelrod, or let's compare to a Steve Jobs if he was alive selling for Apple. Are you still a 9 or 10?
No.
So a lot of us don't give ourselves room to grow. We want to feel good, and we want to be liked, and we want to not be insecure. So we set up rules for ourselves that allow us to be safe. So the first thing we can do is listen, compared to what I'm capable of, which is your real average. Do you understand? See, average sucks is not, I got to be better than most. Average sucks is this. Like, so I'm 6'7", right?
Okay.
Guy years ago comes up to me, goes, how tall are you? I go, I'm 6'7". He goes, when are you going to start acting like it? I go, what do you mean? He goes, you act 5'5". Now, if you were only 5'5", that would be fine. That would be fine. There's nothing wrong with being 5'5". But if you're 5'5", be all of 5'5". But if you're acting 5'5" and you're 6'7", you're missing it. So here's the deal. If you're capable of more, we got to figure out what our outcome. So is our outcome to play well today? Is our outcome to get better? And my job, as I teach my daughter as a competitive figure skater, is we need to continually get better. And we have to realize that we don't need to be committed to our craft. We need to be competitive. And competitive people work on getting better. Committed people try to be their best. And here's the crazy part, Grant. Your best golf game is not good enough yet.
No. Okay.
And it's called being honest.
Yes.
And if we go honest and we're willing to say, you know what? I'm not that great. That's when you get good.
I think the very last drive was hole 18. I was starting to get tired. It was a long 18. And I think maybe my partner, John D, might have heard me, but I was telling the ball, like, do we want to have a good time on this hole? Like, do you want to get hit a whole bunch of times, or do you just want to do what you're supposed to do? And the ball didn't respond. So that was a trigger for me to understand it's all on me now.
Yep.
The ball's just
I still talk to the ball. Like, I talk to the phone. I say, you're going to pick up the phone today. I talk to the dice and craps. Like, I talk to everything. And the reason I do that is because why wouldn't you tell the ball, you know what, ball, I'm going to need you to do something today. And if there ever was a chance for you to work with me, now's a great time.
Tell us like why do we do that? Why is that okay? And what is the psychology? But let's use it for we're in the gutter industry.
Yep.
We pull up and we look at that extension cord and we go, today when we plug into the house, there's going to be power. The extension cord has nothing to do with it. Why do people psychologically try to get the edge talking to something that doesn't speak back?
Well, because in the off chance it does, it's a good idea. So we've all made the phone ring, right? I mean, here's the deal. Have you ever thought about somebody in the phone rang?
Yeah.
So what I've learned is, have you ever gambled?
Oh, damn, my wife's on here, bro. Like, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you played blackjack and craps, right?
I don't do craps. I'm okay with the blackjack.
So let's say you're playing blackjack.
I like betting on ping pong.
And you're not doing well.
Okay.
And you're not doing well at all. And you're like, oh my God, you know you're going to lose. Like, you know you should pick up your money and leave. Like, you know the energy is off, correct?
Yeah.
We have to learn to leave. So I want to make things work for me. So I have a belief that everything works out for me. Now, it sounds crazy. It isn't going to be all the time, but I want to make everything in the world work for me. So I literally do it this way. So if I go to play, of course the power is going to work today. And if it doesn't, say, got it. This is going to force me to talk to this person and figure out how to get that flipped on and go find the fuse box. Right. Yep. So again, I go back to my child that's a competitive skater. Kids would make fun of her at the rink. You act homeless because you talk to yourself. Every professional athlete I know talks to themselves. Goggins talks to himself.
Oh my gosh.
Navy SEALs out there with a sniper rifle. Who else are they going to talk to? They're by themselves. So I am always talking to me. and I'm my own inner critic. I'm my own inner fan. I'm making it happen. So I have this crazy belief that things are just going to work out well. I said, someone's going to open up the door right now. Someone's going to open up the door right now. And you know what? They are going to be very interested in buying from me today. This is going to be great. And they're going to take every upsell I'm offering.
That's cool. What's going on, John? Let's say hi to some of these people. We got Johnny D on here.
Johnny D. Is this Johnny D from golf?
This is John D from golf. He's one of the owners of this podcast, of the Summit, of Mr. Pipeline. I mean, the list goes on. John Majak was on here as well, too. So John and John are both.
Everybody's a John, and I'm a Michael. This is definitely Gen Xers.
We got Reggie. Reggie commented.
We got Reggie.
Reggie's trying to win a ticket. You guys, so remember, we're here today to kind of warm you up, to get ready, to get prepared, to get your mind right, to come see Michael at the show. And we're also going to give you a ticket. So you guys comment, grow in there. And looks like we finally just got shared to all of the channels. Right. So we should start having some. We've got John Clemens in the house. Swanee Valley Gutters in the house. What's up, my man? So he's a gutter growth member. He works for a company, man. They are up and coming. They are crushing it out there. They have a can-do attitude. I love watching what John's doing. Let's talk about the next side of that. So I like what you said. It is about essentially what you're comparing your average with, right? So like people all the time talk about keeping up with the Joneses. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about understanding that you want to go to the next level, not really knowing how to go to the next level. And one way you could do that is by understanding what your threshold is, and then either agreeing or disagreeing that you're willing to raise it. And if you don't know how high or how low, you could get into the Average Sucks books written by Michael Bernoff. They can find that everywhere. But I know for a fact it's on Amazon.
It's Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, everywhere.
Secondly, if you don't know, it's like going to the gym. Okay, I haven't worked out before. Do I start running 10 miles? Do I run none? Reach out. Reach out to somebody. Maybe ask your buddy, your coworker, your wife, your whoever, somebody maybe the same height, size, weight, profession, whatever. It could get into some subcategories or some bigger categories. Are you a male? Are you a female? To really see, are you trying to be better professionally? Are you trying to be better personally, spiritually, athletic, whatever it is? Figure out your bar is what he's saying. And then understand that now you, for the first time, know where that bar is. It's probably extremely low because we're all probably a little inherently lazy in 2025.
Yes. Yes.
Am I correct? And any or all of that? Or
well, you're correct on a lot of it. I mean, here's the part most people don't want to tell anybody. And it's the truth is the greatest sales pitch in the world is the truth.
Okay.
And the reason I say this is most people are not willing to tell somebody is this. Currently, you cannot get what you want because you already would have done it, doing the thing you're currently doing in the way that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think if I just work harder, I'm going to get there. No, if you work harder, you might get it temporarily. You might get it for a period of time. So here's the thing. Like people keep on typing and grow. We have to grow as people. And the biggest skill we need to grow is not what most people think. It's not work ethic. It's not marketing. It's one very, very simple word called communication. And it's the way that we communicate with ourselves and the way that we look at life, how we label things is our ability to do what it is we do. So our entire minds are designed, where unconscious mind is designed on a series of words and how we use them and what they actually mean. And I can go very deep or not deep on this. I'm going to cover this more.
Give us a little more, definitely.
Yeah. So let me give you an example here real quick. Have you ever had anybody tell you something was hard?
Yeah, I'll
let's give an example. Let's get really real, because a lot of us have people on our team. I just got done being in Michigan, meeting with my friend Jeremy was out there. He owns a pressure washing company. He's got 5 trucks, and sometimes people say sales is hard, door knocking is hard, and I covered this. So what is something that somebody has ever told you was hard?
I often have to ask people to do very simple things like, hey, did you take pictures with company cam and put them into the CRM? Yep. Man, you know how hard that is at the end of the day when I'm trying to wrap up and get cleaned up and the customer's talking to you. And I'm like, well, Jesus, it's literally just a part of the process.
Okay.
Tying your shoes is hard, I guess, because your back hurts.
Okay, so that's what you usually say to them. So what most of us don't realize is when we think something's hard, are we going to actually do it?
Michael, I'm also a father of 6.
Okay, so let's go to your kids. I got kids too. I got a 24-year-old and I got a 13-year-old. So I get it. So a kid will say calculus is hard. You get a million things. Or people say dating is hard. People say this. So let's just say a kid says calculus is hard.
Okay.
As a parent, we're like, oh, it's really not that hard. You'll eventually get it. And we think we're doing a good job. We're actually reinforcing that it's hard. So I was in Utah a couple years back, and this absolutely wasted lady walks out of a bar. I was walking out of a restaurant, stumbles out of a bar. It's funny. A drunk lady in Utah stumbles out like this. And she goes, I'm going through a divorce right now. And it's hard. And I quickly go, actually, it's not. And she got sober like immediately. And she was angry. I took her from frustrated to angry, which is a much better pattern to be in. Angry, at least you'll do something. Frustrated, you're just not going to do anything. And then I looked at her and I said, it's not hard. It's harder than you'd like it to be. When you add an ER to the end, because golf isn't hard. Golf is harder than you'd like it to be currently because the way you're currently playing. Running a gutter business is not hard. It is harder than you'd like it to be the way that you're running it. And when you change the language, everything, sales isn't hard. It's different. It isn't even difficult. It is harder than we'd like it to be because there are things you're not good at yet. And if you're willing to get better at them, it will be less hard.
Can I give that the,
You and I fist bump at the same time.
Let's go, bro. Okay. The emotional pull. Why do we want to discover that our average sucks?
Well, the biggest reason is the reason we developed our average in the first place is to feel safe and comfortable. And you typically run our entire lives out of something called insecurity. We were insecure at some point in our life. We wanted to feel secure in ourselves. So we developed an average, and we developed a way to live that we allowed ourselves to feel safe and comfortable. Unfortunately, safe and comfortable in the life we want, they don't go together. So no one is really enjoys, like, it's like going to Vegas or you go to San Diego, you go travel somewhere, your first night, you go to Florida, whatever it is, like, oh my God, last night was great. I'm going to repeat that again tonight. You repeat it. It's never fun the second time because you know what's going to happen, right? Yeah. So we really only enjoy in our lives when we're pushing ourselves and we're driven to do things. So the reason we have to figure out what our average is our average is stuck with what we currently do. Because here's the crazy part that most people don't realize, Grant, is that if we go ahead and we stay inside of what we do, we're going to always do about the same, give or take 5 or 10%. That's it. That's about as good as we can do in life. Because if I were to go online and I called Mark Zuckerberg and I said, hey, Mark, can you tell me everything all these people have been up to? He would say, here's how many times you clicked on that. Here's how often you went to that. How many days you went on vacation. What's in your bank account in the last 5 years? It's about the same. So if you want a drastic change, we have to realize it's our patterning, our programming that is doing it.
I want to jump over to something. So you have a bunch of series and things like that. And so does any of that last minute confidence kind of, where does that come into play? When I think, because I'm trying to learn and follow and grow through your process as well, because like I said, it calls me, I understand it, and I'm working through that a lot, especially my average has to be better because my partners, we secretly look at each other and go, man, he's doing that or this. And so I want to continue to step up, right? To be at my partner's level because I admire them and their work ethic and what they built. And then there's some stuff in that last minute confidence series. Could you kind of share the core of that with us? What your intention was?
So when I invented that, I needed people to be able to be on anytime they needed to be on. Like most people don't know my background. They think I just work with entrepreneurs. I'm also the guy that got the call after the second shooting at Columbine that helped the kids with PTSD. I work with Jake Paul's a client of mine. I got him over girlfriend issues before he got into boxing. I work with UFC fighters before they get into the ring. A lot of well-known characters, some of them in the top 10 takedowns ever in UFC. So why I'm bringing that up right now is I had to come up with some tools that made people feel confident right away. So part of that is really figuring out inside of us, what are the triggers that make us be confident if we need it to be, so we could be on when we need. So it's a very simple technique, last minute confidence, where, and I cover a little of this at the event, is how to stimulate competence that you're going to be good at something before you get started. And a lot of that comes from this. Most of the decisions that we make in our lives, like when I went to write my book, I'm just going to get off track, but back on track.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was letting a 7-year-old boy write the book, even though I was 40 at the time. And I was letting a 7-year-old boy write the book because a 7-year-old insecure boy that wanted to get over his told he had ADD and wasn't good at school was going to finally prove to his wife and his parents that he could write a book. And for 6 years, I could never get the damn thing done, or 5 years, whatever it was. And then one day I was on a podcast and I talked to this guy, Brad. He was 39 years old. I said, Brad, let me ask you a question. When is the last time you talked to Brad? You know, that 39-year-old guy with a beautiful wife and kids and every reason to do well in the world, the guy that's made millions of dollars in business. What's that guy up to? He's like, I never really talked to that guy. And it hit me in myself. I wasn't letting a 40-something-year-old man that has made tens and tens of millions of dollars, that owns a bunch of real estate, that travels all over the world, that's got a great life. I wasn't letting that guy run my life. So last-minute confidence is really checking into the highest level of yourself. And it's a technique that is based on anchoring, and it is based on perception and visualization. It's so simple to do where it actually changes your perspective, where you get to activate in a second the best version of you. And what's amazing is once you do it once or twice, it starts to become natural and normal.
Yeah. I had to do that. These guys just popped up in their Slack like yesterday afternoon. Hey, we're going to golf. That's where we're holding the meeting. And my partner, Tim, he had some stuff. He wasn't able to make it. Initially, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm in. I'm boom, boom, boom. But the whole rest of the night, boy, I was like biting my nails. They weren't like telling me where we're officially going, what time, what place. I'm wondering what I'm going to wear. Am I going to play? Is it going to be hot? Am I going to make it? Is my belly going to, just all this stuff. Right. And then finally get the message this morning. It's on. And I was like putting on my last minute confidence pants.
That's awesome.
I was like, all right, shit, I ain't going to let myself down. I might let them down. I might not. But then I was like, they don't even have expectations for me. We're just going to play some friendly golf. Just stop overthinking it, put my last minute confident pants on, and went out there and played like shit.
Well, let me give you an example of one word that I use.
Yeah.
One of my favorite words is the word of course. So when somebody does something great in our company and they close a big deal, most people say, great job, you closed the deal. You know what I say to that person? Of course you did. That's what someone like you does. So when I get asked to play golf, I say, of course I'll be good at this. I'm pretty good at everything if I apply myself to it. Of course I'll be good at this. I'm not going to be great right away, but of course, if I wanted to be good at golf, I would. I love the word of course. And the funny thing about it is, like, if I got into the gutter business, of course I'd be good at it. If I decide to do it, I'll be good at it, because the guy or girl that you admired when you were a kid talked that way. Remember that one kid? We couldn't stand that freaking kid because I wasn't him. Yeah. Freaking went from football to baseball to basketball. He was good at everything. Freaking got grades in school. Got the girl that guy. Do you know what I'm saying? So one word changes everything. If we were to I'd say to my wife, I'd be like, well, I don't know how to dance. So of course I could figure out how to dance if I wanted to. Do you know what I'm saying? If it actually mattered to me, I would do it. Yeah. And what's funny is the word of course is the absolute most powerful confidence word. Zachary said it right there. It's called instilling confidence. It's injecting it like the movie The Matrix. I know Kung Fu. It's literally saying to yourself, of course I'll be good at golf. I want to be good at this. Of course I could. I would like literally in weeks, I could be way better than I am right now. Because Grant, everything you've ever applied yourself to, you've been great at. So we have to learn how to use the word of course.
Okay. I like that. You guys comment, grow. Let's get a Gutter Summit ticket here.
Let's go even above and beyond that. There are some of you have people in the industry, even competitors right now, even people out of town. You've met people at other gutter events. You've met other people in other industries. Grab this link, share it with them right now. Let them know, because we grow more together. Our outcome should be, we should be helping more entrepreneurs out there in the world. Biggest reason I'm doing this today, Grant, is I feel that if we do not grow entrepreneurship, Amazon's going to take our businesses away. So we need to literally be sharing capitalism right now. So grab the link for this, share it in groups you're in, chat rooms, groups, open up your own friggin' old AOL Messenger if you have to, and go get people in.
I want to ask you a couple. I've got two big questions here for you. Well, let's see what.
Were those small ones up till now? Okay, good. I'll take the big ones.
Yeah, let's see what my wife says here. I always tell my son, if he says he can't do something, he won't. I say, of course, even when I think I have no idea of how to do something, but then I'm forced to figure it out.
I have a system for that that'll blow everybody's mind if you want to hear it with kids.
Let's give it.
Dude, I'm on a podcast the other day. for this guy, Joe. Joe's got 900 LOs, loan officers, right? Joe's got a big company. I start talking about motivating kids. He stopped the whole podcast. He goes, wait, how do you motivate your kid to want to be better? And instead of just answering the question, I go, better at what? He goes, I want my kid to want to be motivated for basketball. I said, all right, here's what you're going to do, Joe. I want you tomorrow morning after breakfast, wait till he's fed so he's not hangry, right? I want you to walk up to him and look him in the eyes. His name is Joe, his son. I said, I want you to walk up to Joey and say, Joey, if you ever want to get better at basketball, you come to me. I might have a couple ideas. Not now. You come to me when you're ready. What most of us do is we're dealing with an insecure person, like they don't have the money to buy our product, or they're insecure, meaning they don't think they're good at something. And we make them more insecure by telling them they can do it. Now we told someone that didn't believe they can do it. So he basically tells Joey this. The next day he calls me. He goes, Michael, I don't know whether to love you or kill you. I said, why? What's up? He goes, I did what you told me to do. He goes, I said it to my son. And the next day he came to me and said, Daddy, I want to get better. And now I got to get him a freaking coach. Folks, here's why. There's a drug called serotonin, which is the feeling you get when you make a good decision. So our job is to not excite people or scare them or to tell them we love them. Those are not the drugs to use. It's a confidence drug. So what we do is we walk up to them and say, listen, if you ever want to get good at sales, not now, like this jujitsu, not now, you come to me when you're ready. Then they come on their terms and they come to you and say, of course you'd show up. It's awesome. I'd love to help you. So the difference, what she does is she tells her son when he's feeling insecure that she can help him, which makes him more insecure. All parents do it versus, you know what? I get it. If you ever want to get good at math, you come to me. I might have a couple ideas if you ever want this to be easier. And then you got to bite your fingers and wait. But when they come back on their own accord, that is when a confident person can get help.
I love that. Okay. You have a saying about, you say we don't rise to our goals, we fall to our average. I like to always try to get a little vulnerable myself, and I like to do that with my guests as well. Are you comfortable with this?
Whatever you need.
Okay. So, but that average is really tied to who we believe we are.
Yep.
Right? What identity shift has been the most painful but necessary for you to make it in your own life?
I have trouble with the word best, but I've learned what that means. And part of it is I've had to learn that a lot of, I guess this is it. When I first got started in business, I was driven by surviving in business, meaning like I pushed and I survived and I built my entire business model and life off of surviving because that is how I started. And I pulled everybody else into that as well. So I built a model that would like literally required me to do everything so I could feel important, so I could survive. Okay. And it wasn't until later on that I realized that I built that. I pulled my wife into that. I pulled my kids into that. I pulled my family into it, pulled my business into it. It created a lot of stress, but here's the cool part. I got to be the hero that solved it. And I had to realize that I don't have to be a hero by creating problems to solve them. I could be a hero because I find things that don't allow me to have those challenges anymore. So I could go a million different ways with this, but I think that's one that relates to a lot of people. My original reason for doing what I do was my average. I built a life that made me do the things that I do instead of the things that I wanted. So that was one that I had to accept that, you know what? I don't need to slay dragons to feel important and resuscitate them and bring them back.
Yeah.
It's okay just to go for what I want regardless. That's the quick version, Grant.
Thank you for sharing that. No, I appreciate it. So I'm going to do something out of the ordinary here. I want to boost. I want to make sure this thing gets shared, and I want people to be sitting and super excited about Front Row. So typically, Michael, we give off general admission tickets. Last year, we gave a few. We interview a lot of the speakers, and this year I think we've given 3 away, and we did a podcast yesterday. We just decided who the winner was. So I'm going to take this up a step further. I'm going to give away a VIP ticket.
Wow.
Right now. It's actually worth $2,000 instead of the $1,000. You're giving it away, but here's what I want. And so for you people that are listening, you get an additional ticket. And please, I don't want to say it. Remember, if you already bought a ticket and you win these tickets, there's no refunds. There's no any of that. So bring someone extra. But we will give away 1 VIP ticket right now. And what you have to do is buy Michael's book, Average Sucks. You have to buy John Majak's book, Ring the Bell. And then unknown author, but attitude is a choice. So pick a good one. You need to buy those 3 books and take a picture with them and tag me in the post. The first one to do that will win the VIP ticket.
Oh, that's amazing. Go.
So I'm going to give it to you again. Average Sucks by Michael B. Ring the Bell by John Majak. Look at Kevin Reese. No, you're the man. Thank you for being here with us. And then you're going to go get Attitude is a Choice. So Pick a Good One by Phillips. You can get all those on Amazon. I'd get there now. Those 3 books, I don't know what they're going to cost. Let's say maybe $40 total. You got yourself a $2,000 VIP ticket.
That's amazing.
I also want to see you sitting right up front because you do not want to miss what Michael B is going to be up there talking about. Okay, I got another question for you, if you don't mind.
I love your questions. This has been very enjoyable.
Thank you. I hope that you'll be back and maybe we can venture onto some other podcasts. I'm sure we could have some pretty deep conversations.
We can go deep, man. Anytime you want, we can go deeper and then deeper.
I'm learning, so I'm new to this, but I'm diving all in, man. So do digital copies count? Chris, look at all of a sudden popping out the repeat again. Okay, Chris, you're silly. So no, I want to see you. I want you to do the actions. This is an actionable. I'll repeat it one more time, and you can go back and watch. But if you're going to order now, go on to Amazon and you're going to get Average Sucks by Michael Bernoff. You're going to get John Majak's Ring the Bell. And you're going to get Attitude is a Choice. So Pick a Good One. Look, you don't even got to read them right now. Just order them. Take a picture so I know you got them. I don't want pictures. I want to see you smiling with your new life in your hands ahead of you. And I'll give you a $2,000 ticket. That's comes amazing. From Michael and our Gutter Growth team.
That's amazing.
Okay. So let's make that happen. Here's my question. Most people don't realize their identity is running the show behind every decision they make. I've had like the craziest last 2 years with the invitation into some businesses from my partners, and doubt has crept in, and it's almost tried to creep towards my marriage and my parenting, because this new entrepreneurial, I've been an entrepreneur running other people's stuff in a safe, comfortable, yada, yada. I personally had to realize that my identity was running the show, but I was like, well, I got to figure out who I am then. If somebody's running the show and it's my identity, I want to know what my identity is. And I want to know if I can curb it or change it. For someone listening who's been stuck at the same revenue, the same mindset, or the same relationship for years, how do they start reprogramming who they are without lying to themselves?
Well, you are going to have to lie to yourself. And that's the hard part most people don't realize, because it's all a lie. And I'm proving to you it's all a lie right now is this. What's your name?
Me, Grant?
Yeah, Grant. It's not your name. You were baby, and then they named you Grant. All right? You were baby. They named you Grant, and all of us freaking went along with it, correct?
Yeah.
So it's all a lie. And I'm using the word lie as a funny little word.
Right.
But if you think about what a lie is we're going to believe whatever we choose to believe. So here's the deal. It is going to have to become untrue. So you're already currently lying, saying things are hard. It's not hard. It's harder than you'd like it to be. So let's pick an area. So let's just take a person, a guy who owns a gutter business. How many people are on his team? Let's make up like an actual case. 5 people on their team. What kind of revenue are they bringing in?
5 people revenue. I mean, you'd probably be doing something around $1.2 to $1.8 million.
Doing $1.8 million. After taxes, they're bringing in a couple $100,000, correct? They got a couple one kid in private school, a little bit of debt from starting the business, couple of trucks, and a little lawsuit going from an old person that used to work with them they're dealing with. I just nailed everybody, right?
Yes.
Perfect. And they found out one guy had some weird charges, and they're trying to get the guy fired, and they're dealing with HR. Got it? Makes sense. Now, all of that's going on. So they identify as this person. So here's the deal. Is that who they are, or is that what they're currently doing?
Yeah. That's what they're currently doing.
So the first thing we need to realize, like, currently, this is what I'm doing. And your identity is tied to, very, very simply. Great job, Reggie. Your identity. Great job. Great job. Your identity is tied to what you're currently doing. So when I look at an identity of a person, they'd say, like, when you hand your license over to the TSA guy at the airport or whatever it is, your passport into the country, that is your name, right? But your identity is really, how do you identify as? And most people identify as somebody that business is hard for them, or they identify as somebody that's struggling, or they identify things are easy. There is a time in your life where we need to change what it is. And it doesn't happen overnight, but we need to first admit, I'm making this harder on myself than I need to, because for some reason I thought I was supposed to be magically good at this. And everything I've done up till now gets me what I have. So here's the first thing you say is, I know exactly how to do what I'm currently doing. If I ever need to come back to this again, I've mastered this, correct? Now, in order to get to the next phase, the thing that I'm doing is, we can't chip away at every minute of our identity right away. We've got to pick one piece of it that matters. And we've got to ask ourselves a question. If I want to get better at relationships, I've got to ask myself a question. If I choose to get better at that, how would I get better at that? One is, I want to get better with people. I want to get better at this. So we've got to figure out what the after effects are. So I've got a whole protocol that I do with people. But number one is, we've got to really understand what our outcome is. And for most people, their outcome is to survive or to get by and what it is they're currently doing, to repeat what it is they're doing. And then the other part is what you're doing good enough, or is it what you're currently doing, or is it what you really want? And most people think they're doing what they want, but they're not willing to admit what they want. And most people do not actually want their life to be easier. Grant, this is the biggest thing I've seen in the service industry. And this is probably because all of us Gen Xers with playing video games as a kid, we think there's bonus points for it being harder. And there's no bonus points in business for making it harder than it needs to be, is there?
No.
And most people have to realize the reason it's harder than I'd like it to be is I'm not allowing it to be easier.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is like neurologically embedded in people.
I have so many things. When I'm face to face, I will do this in public with people. I do this. Like, there are people that say, like, they're like, do you understand? Like, people identify as non-buyers of yours. Like, you know, they identify as, I don't buy shit from you. Does that make sense? And we need to change their identity. And we need to tell them, you know what? That is actually an option. You cannot buy from me and stay where you're at. And that's an option. But I think that was more of an auto response you gave me versus what it is you want. So you're telling me that you're enjoying your gutters hanging half off and leaves being in there and the thing deteriorating? No, you're not enjoying that. You have just been programmed to say, I don't need to fix this. It's expensive. That's a quick, took it to a different direction there.
No. I mean, like, and I'm trying to stay with you, and then I'm trying to keep you right where you're at, but I have a lot. And then, like,
keep going.
I try not to get selfish here, because what you guys don't know, I'll put you in on a little secret, and maybe this will help the next person, like, conquer, face their fears or something. I don't know what podcast this is, but I started about 2 years ago, or maybe a little greater. Definitely somewhere in the hundreds. Oh. And secretly, I just learn from everyone that I chat with. And so this is like a good schooling for me. And I always tell people I have these notes. I have pages of notes. Sometimes I take 2-3 pages of notes. So I just want to ask this thing here. In your new vocabulary.
Yep.
So this is a series that Michael has. You guys
did your homework.
Yeah, well, because time is important to me, because I don't have a lot of it left. And so we can come on and go, rah, gutters and the summit and cigars and concrete and chairs and like eggs. Now we want to get to the point right here. I want to take something from this. And I know a lot of our listeners, we might not have a lot on right now, but this podcast will end up with 5,000 to 10,000 people watching it over the next couple of days. And so I remember little things that you've said in the past, or my partner, John Majak, in his speech, or just all these other great people that I get to be around. I try to take snippets, and I've got you here. The summit is for all of us, but I have you here just with me right now, and I'm sharing you live. So in your new vocabulary, you teach that language isn't just expressive. And to kind of let you guys know what I mean is it acknowledges languages as a behavior modifier, right? Not just motivational fluff.
Yep.
And so it's formative, like you say, and that every word we habitually use becomes a cue that reinforces neural patterns and identity loops. Am I correct in that?
You're spot on, saying it even better than I have.
Okay. Can you break down the neurological behavior mechanism behind how single word change shifts someone's perception and by extension their results. That was big. That's what I want to know.
Okay, so basically what happens, so my background is language and communication. A lot of people hire me to help them with sales and influence and major trauma. I've gotten thousands of people off medications and drugs and alcohol and because of language. Okay. So just even the word addiction, for an example, the word addiction, or even the AA program, I think you need step 13. I haven't drank since 2016, but some people drink and that's great. If that's
I'm on 2 years, me and my wife, cigarettes and alcohol. Thank you. Thank you.
You know why I quit?
Oh my God. Why?
I didn't have an alcohol problem. I quit because there are people that wanted to quit and I didn't want to be an influence. So I accepted the power of my own influence and realized every human being is influential.
My wife did that for me too.
So I realized I didn't want to be the guy drinking a $400 bottle of wine and you're like, hey, Michael does it, I'll do it. So why I'm telling you that is I accepted my own influence and realized we are always influencing people. So if you make 200 grand a year, you're influencing people to make 200 grand a year or less. If you make $1 million a year, so that's one piece. So if you understand the way the mind works, I'm going to get back to your question.
That's okay.
Everything that we experience in our lives, we have to put a label on. We've got to put words on and we've got to explain it. So when something happens to somebody, it could either be the worst day of their life or that was a misunderstanding. Depending on the intensity and the power of the actual word that we use. So somebody has a horrible childhood. They get beat up by their father. It's awful. They get hit by a car. They go, my childhood is horrible. And what's fascinating about it is if you say to yourself, my childhood is horrible, you then take a big file cabinet and you put your whole childhood and you call it horrible versus saying there were times during my childhood they weren't great. So what I always tell everybody, step 13 of AA used to be, there was a time in my life I lived differently and alcohol was more important back then. So I teach people to say, when they say, I'm going to work out every day, I say, shut the F up. You're not going to work out every day. How about I exercise more often than not? Let me give you the other pattern. I used to say I'm going to work out. I never did it. I haven't worked out in 25 years. I don't work out anymore. I train because workout leads to something I say I'm going to do that I don't. So we've got to realize, what does the word we're saying do and what does it make us do? And everyone's got different words that mean different things. So to give you an example, when we use a word to describe something, somebody said today was horrible. I said, was it horrible, the worst day of your life, or did not turn out as planned? I want you to think about that for a second. Got it? Now I want you to think about that for a second. So when we say that to ourselves, we've got to realize how we're going to label it. So when somebody says, man, my business is this or this is that, we've got to figure out which word that we use. And we've got to be very, very selective. So people say, your wife or husband will say, you're always mean. Always mean? Or currently right now for the last half hour, I've been mean.
Is it okay to say when you introduce your wife, my current wife?
And you never should say, this is my old lady. And you should never say, the wife.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we don't say that, Grant. If she's listening right now, you're getting smack.
She's not even home. She's somewhere else.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you you're gambling and calling her your current wife. I get it.
Oh, my goodness. She is currently everything that I'm joking.
So the Your New Vocabulary, to give you the quick version of it, teaches very simple words like naturally, easily, and unlimited. And it basically says words like naturally. It would basically like naturally you're somebody looking for your home's value to go up, correct? That's sales, buddy.
Okay.
And obviously you'd like this to go as easy as possible. You don't want to say, would you like a good service? No, you'd like this to be as easy as possible. Okay. And obviously you'd love unlimited benefits, right? Or unlimited access, whatever it is.
Right.
And it also teaches you to eliminate words like this. Maybe, try, sort of, what I call loser language, because most people are using loser language.
Yeah, that's what they're not winning. That's why they're used to those people asking them those questions, and then they ask other people, and then it's just a bunch of non-winners in a circle.
Yep.
Playing duck, duck, goose.
Yep. Or duck hunt on Nintendo.
Summit. We're not playing duck, duck, goose at the summit, y'all. We're not.
Yeah, we're not playing duck. We will. We might play that little game where you jump around at the between the squares at the remember that at dropping up and jump between the squares at the grocery store. Did you do that as a kid, staying away from the lava?
Oh yeah, well, like everything was gonna hurt you or burn you, or the lava or the cracks.
What's so crazy was there was no internet back then, and you grew up where you grew up, and I grew up where I grew up, and we still knew how to play that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of fun. And right now I just keep I'm just going to just do it one more time because you dropped some major good stuff for us. If you guys didn't hear it, I'm going to give it to you one more time. You need to go get Average Sucks, and I think Reggie already did it, but just in case people are listening, you got to order Average Sucks. You got to get John Majak's Ring the Bell, and you got to get Attitude Is a Choice. So pick a good one. Reggie, you might jump back on there and do overnight shipping or something like that. Pay the little extra because obviously the investment. If you do that, the first person to take a picture with all 3 books, put it on social media, tag me, we will get you a ticket. And then bring the books. You can get John Majak to sign his. You can get Michael to sign that. Yep. And if you wanted anybody, or if you want, I'll write you some words of encouragement. One of my favorite books is The Attitude Is a Choice. It's a great place to start. So thank you for doing that for us, for sure.
I love it.
Yes, I'm a ticket. Okay.
I love that noise.
It's really cool. I like The Undertaker. Okay. I think we're going to do a part 2 of this another day because I have a lot more questions, but I'm just going to leave us.
I'll take one more.
Yeah. This is the best one. So you coach people to break through their internal limits, right? I learned a couple of things. It looks my wife is getting some great feedback here. But what's a personal limit you're still wrestling with today, even after all the work you've done? Like, the mechanic's car is usually broke down. The gutter guy's downspouts are falling off the house. The yard guy doesn't have time to cut his own grass. Where can we help hold you accountable?
This is the twisted one. Okay. So one of the beliefs that it takes to be able to do what it is I do is the belief that you can help anybody. And you have to have that at my seminars and events, because people stand up and say the most craziest things you've ever seen in your life, and I've got to help them quickly. Mm-hmm. The difference between somebody that's on your team and somebody that's come as a teammate and somebody that is actually a student, they're 2 different things. And what's funny is learning how to bounce back and forth between those is a challenge. So what's amazing is the person that is there for the event to learn is different than the person that needs to get the job done. One person needs to do it themselves. The other one needs to hire me to do it. And I can help the team a little bit, but I can't help them the other way. So I have this natural tendency to want to serve and to help, but there's a timing for that. And I'd say that's a big challenge that I've run into from time to time. And I love it. It still works. I do it, but there's a place and a time to use your superpowers.
I respect that. And I credit probably John Majak the most right now with guiding me through that same, I would say it was almost a crisis a year ago, because I didn't have that boundary at all. Right. And now I've learned, and the industry you guys have been nice on me. I think for 4 or 5 years, a couple thousand people called me a week, and now people know the proper channels. But thank you to JM for really kind of helping me understand that there's a time and a place for that stuff. And you can't, like you started off with, you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, right? So human interaction technology, that's what you're the developer of. Yep. Do you talk about that a little bit at the summit?
Yeah, that I'll talk about that. I'm one of the best in the world at I've studied the best in the world of how to use language. Are you familiar with neurolinguistic programming?
Through my research of you, and I am engaged in some, we'll just call it hobbies a little bit, and after 1 o'clock p.m. a.m.
What does that mean?
It just means sometimes I do some research on some stuff. So I'm having some breakthroughs with that right now, because I want to be a better speaker, a better coach, a better husband, a better father. And that's the angle. And that's why I have these questions I have for you today with that. So slightly.
Yeah. So what HIT is how we use our words to affect the nervous system. So invented human interaction technology is that all of us interact with each other, and I invented a technology that how we interact with a person, the slightest shift in language, the slightest shift in communication changes their neural pathways inside of their mind. So I took the best of neurolinguistic programming, transactional analysis, psychotherapy, hypnosis. I figured out the best of the best. I've studied almost everything. And that is why I wanted to come up with a solution solution for almost anything out there that anybody's dealing with. So you name it, I have an answer for it.
How can people engage with that with their business?
In what aspect?
If they're like, well, let's just say they're like, I want to be better at interaction with my employees or whatever. How does HIT, what services are offered? Or is it best just to start off with your book? Or is there a website?
So a couple of things that I would do is number one is you start my book. My book is a good place to start. I always tell everybody, you're not going to learn karate from a book. Mr. Miyagi said it, right? You're not going to learn how to take a punch from a book. It's a good place to start. Get a chance to know me. I've got programs that we offer, call to action, my core live program. Spend a couple days with me and I guarantee you'll create some transformation. Great place to start is at Gutter when you guys get there. And when you guys get to the summit, I'll get some time with you guys. I'll even bring some really cool stuff that we can do together. But HIT is for people that want the best. After you see me do what I do, I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen at the event. If you allow yourself to, during the time that I speak, I will mesmerize, captivate, hypnotize, not literally hypnotize, but I literally will hold the people's attention in that room. No, I do hypnosis also, but not like dance like a chicken. I mean, more like quickly change. I took a guy once, I convinced him a couple of weeks ago that he was a great bowler. The guy went from bowling, I think he had 18 by the third frame. And by the end of the game, he bowled a 190. And
this is when people are, for our listeners, this is when what he's talking about, that moment. This is when people are breaking free from an identity, correct?
Yes. I got a guy convinced he was an incredible bowler and he totally believed it. And I mean, his wife thought it was hot. It was amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? It was great. But the point is, why am I doing this? What HIT is and how I explain this is, it is for, I'm going to get the room literally spellbound and you're going to pay attention. I'll lower resistance, get you guys paying attention. You're going to be focused. Even the most ADD people in the world are going to be wanting to see what I do. And even if it's 70% of the room, listen, folks, if you can get 70% of the people you come across to go like this and focus on your every word, that's something worth learning. So I'm going to show you the basics of that. I've mastered that. It's straight mastery because here's why. I've done 40,000 hours of this. I think in my intro, I've got 150,000 students that I've worked with. I own an institute here in North Scottsdale. I bought a building that I do events out of all the time. The reason I'm bringing this up and I'm so adamant about this is I want to teach you guys how to hold people's attention, lower resistance in yourself and others, and even grab your own freaking attention.
Okay. For people that are hearing you right now, they're listening, they're hearing, they understand. Let's leave them with something good because I've been asking you some deep questions here. You guys, we're going to get off in 2 minutes probably or less. Comment, grow. Lisa's there for it. Comment, grow. We're still giving away a general admission ticket. That
Lisa's in.
Lisa's in. So Lisa will be there. She'll be front row listening.
She better be. If not, I'm not coming. If Lisa's not there, I'm not coming. Staying home.
So, yeah. Okay. Tell us what it feels like when it lands. When lands? When you know it lands. What you're doing, the HIT.
Okay. Do you want the real answer or you want the bullshit answer?
No, I want the real answer.
So here's the deal. I'm at the point of my life where I expect it. I'm going to tell you why that's so cool. Years ago, I used to be mesmerized by it. We all need to get to the point where we actually expect it and it's no big deal anymore. As unfortunate as that is, I promise you, if you're mesmerized by the show and you're Metallica and you're doing your thing like, oh my God, I'm so surprised they loved it. You have to go in knowing it's going to be great. And the reason why you have to go in knowing it's going to be great is because that's how things work. So I have learned to get to the point where it's natural and normal for me. I expect it now. And that's the part I want you to get to. Back in the old days, it was the greatest, coolest thing. Oh my God, it worked. Now I'm at the point where, of course that does. That's who I am and that's what I do. So I know that might sound a little bit not modest, but I am going to tell you, I want all of you to get to that point where making $1 million to $2 million to $10 million a year is natural and normal for you. Or it could be really exciting and be a big deal. Which would you prefer, Grant? Would you rather it be natural and normal or, oh my God, I can't believe that happened?
We wanted to. It depends on which side of the room I'm standing on, right? Is it happening to me? Oh my God. Or if I'm up there doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I've created a real identity that I'm focused on, then I love it when what I want to happen happens. And that's no different than golfing. Grow, grow, baby, grow.
Yes. And they're sending it. They're sending it in.
They are. Fabulous conversation today. I will wrap this up. I've got so many more questions, and I feel like we'll just leave it to the Undertaker here. I appreciate your time today, brother.
Appreciate you too, man. This has been fantastic. Thank you.
So cool.